I don't know, I like getting like that in my music because I don't like getting like that in person. Like I hate talking about like anything that's like mushy or I don't know, anything in person. So like my music is the time for me to do that.
Hi, I'm Zoya, and I'm joined by Maggie Lindemann for Enemies in Conversation series. So Maggie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How have you found the start of the year? It's been pretty busy with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty busy because my EP came out in January. So ever since then, it's kind of just been like super busy and trying to, obviously do things around the EP. And yeah, I've been keeping very busy.
How do you feel that it's out and that project's out for everyone to see?
So excited because I've been making it for 2 years since 2019. So it just felt like, I don't know, just like such a long time coming. And I don't know, I just get so excited when people can finally hear the stuff I've been working on. So very excited.
I have to say, it's a great EP. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
But one thing I kind of wanted to talk about before we get into the record is before you kind of got into becoming a fully fledged artist, you did a few things online and you were considered a social media influencer. How do you feel that set you up for being an artist?
I mean, I think just like with the modern age today, it's like social media is so huge and like everyone has a social media now. And I don't know, I think it's just such a good way to get yourself out there. And like I said, like in today's age, literally everyone has social media. So it's like, I don't know, it's just like that extra push, I guess, as opposed to like, when people would have to go out and like try to get meetings with record labels and like sell their CDs and like do all this stuff. I feel like social media is just like straight to it. And I don't know, it's just like this new way to get yourself out there. I mean, I always like did music. I used to do covers and then like I don't know, I just like always did music. So there was never like, I don't know, like it just kind of all happened. Like my manager found me from like one of my covers or like one of my fake covers. It wasn't even like a real one. It was like one my friend recorded as a joke, which is crazy. But from there, then he like took me in and then I started making music. So I guess it was like, that was kind of the moment, like the pivotal moment in my career that like it turned from like online singing to like real singing.
As you released kind of music from like 2016 to 2018, you went through quite a radical change in your sound. What led up to that transition?
I mean, I was just pretty young. Like I started making music when I was 16 and at the time, like I had just moved to LA from Texas. Like I didn't grow up really with like much of like many of my own ideas, like my own style or like my own person at all. I kind of just lived my life, like not worrying about any of that kind of stuff. So then when I did move to LA, like I kind of just went through this transformation of finding myself and like the style I liked and the music I wanted to do. And it took some time, but I feel like it was just me growing up and finding myself.
Yeah. Do you think now with that new image that you can kind of express yourself more organically than you did before?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm definitely myself and it comes way more naturally.
And now that you've got Paranoia out, which came out a few weeks ago, did you find the process of releasing something mid-pandemic quite difficult?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different because it's not what anyone would expect. I mean, obviously no one expected this, but I was like battling with, do I wait? Do I just put it out? And obviously we don't know how long we're going to be in this. So I was just like, I'm just going to put it out. So it's definitely different because like I can't tour and I can't like go meet people and I can't like, go do things as much, but we're finding ways and we're able to like, still do things, just not in person. So it's weird, but it's doable.
Were you at all anxious about this kind of received version of yourself going from kind of this bubblegum pop version to this pop punk side of yourself?
Yeah, I was anxious, but just like only in the way because I didn't want people to think I was trying to like be unauthentic. And like I've said this, but like it's so funny because when people go from like, you know, that like my pretty girl version to who I am now, it's like people are like, oh, this is a phase, or like you're just trying to like be edgy or like whatever it is. And it's just so annoying because no one would ever say anything if I went from like this to how I was. It would just be like, oh my God, like she's growing up. She's not like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
it's not a phase. Like it truly isn't just like a phase. It's like just who I am. And even like during that time in my life, like I was still the same person I am. I still had the same interests and stuff, and I still listened to the same music. It's just the way I was presenting myself was someone that wasn't me. And it was like someone that I was just trying to like fit into this character that I was trying to portray. So it's like, yeah, I was definitely nervous just for that reason. But like at the end of the day, if it's not a version of me you like you don't have to pay attention to me, you know?
Yeah, there's been a lot of artists that have been kind of presenting themselves in this way, from Machine Gun Kelly to Youngblood to this kind of resurgence of pop punk and metal. Are you enjoying that kind of wave, that new trend that's coming along?
I love it. I feel like I've been waiting for this. Like I've just been wanting it to come back for so long. So I'm I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And it's kind of cool how it's just like all happening at once. Cause like I said, like I started writing this in 2019. So it's crazy that it like all just started kind of happening like last year. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few tracks I want to ask about off the record, and the first one being Crash and Burn. It's got quite an old school kind of like Paramore style, an old kind of noughties pop punk feel to it. Did that inspire you at all?
Yeah, Paramore was a huge inspiration for this whole EP. I just love Paramore, and I was listening to them so much during the making of it. And yeah, Crash, like it was kind of like Misery Business, how you hear the very beginning of that song and you immediately know it's Misery Business. Like you don't have to think about it. I kind of wanted Crash to be similar to that, and also like start off just like with immediate energy. So yeah, heavily influenced by Paramore.
And another track, Lona, it explores quite an emotional side of yourself, quite intimate as well. What led up to you putting out a track like that?
I feel like I'm very emotional in my songs. I don't know. I'm just like, I get all my emotions out in my music, and all of my songs are really personal to me. So I don't know. I like getting like that in my music because I don't like getting like that in person. Like I hate talking about like anything that's like mushy, or I don't know, anything in person. So like my music is the time for me to do that.
And one of the tracks that I found really interesting was Gaslight, because for me it felt like you were flipping the narrative almost. You know, in pop punk we always hear guys kind of talking about an emotional situation that was really intense for them and how it impacted them. But for this it felt like it was from a woman's perspective. Was that a direction that you were intentionally trying to take?
Yeah, it was actually. That's like exactly how I word it too. It's like I just wanted to switch the narrative because you always hear guys talking about like, oh, this, and whatever. And it's like, well, I want to talk about this from a girl's perspective because I feel like obviously anyone can gaslight, but I just know for me, I've been gaslit so many times. And it's kind of just like taking back the power and like not letting someone just like walk all over you, and yeah, just like switching the narrative.
And in one of your recent interviews, you've said like Paranoia is a walk through your brain. And we've seen a lot of records that kind of explore that pop therapy side of things, from Paramore's After Laughter to Phoebe Bridgers' latest record, Punisher. Do you feel that you kind of get that catharsis and emotional release when you write music?
Yeah, for sure. It's like literally my therapy. I go in with something that's like heavy on my mind, and then I'll leave and listen to the song 1,000 times, and then I'll like feel better about it. So yeah, it's definitely just like literally my therapy, and it helps me get through whatever I'm going through.
And outside the record, I noticed you played quite a regular role in Machine Gun Kelly's latest promo video. What was that experience like for you?
It was fun. Like I'm not an actress. I've never acted before. So it was really funny, but it was really fun. Like I loved everyone on set, and MGK is so talented and Modson's so talented, and it was just really cool to be a part of something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
I mean, it had a pretty incredible cast from like Sydney Sweeney to Travis Barker. And it being your first kind of experience in acting, is that something that you want to continue down the line?
Yeah, I want to. I definitely need to like go to more acting classes. I used to go to them and I just haven't in a while. So I definitely do want to do that. I just need to like be more confident with it because I was really nervous. Like I was trying to like maintain my nervousness, but I was really nervous. So I need to get better at it.
Yeah. Was there anything in the character that you portrayed that you kind of saw yourself in?
Well, like my character was this mean girl who was like trying to go after my dead friend's like boyfriend. So I don't know. I would never do that like in real life. But I don't know. I always have thought like it'd be so fun to play like a bitchy character and just like a mean girl. And I don't know. I just like was really channeling like some mean girl energy. I don't know. It was fun, but yeah, I'm like nothing like that in real life.
And obviously the project included Machine Gun Kelly and Travis Barker. Do you see them both as inspirations to you in your music?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Travis is like such an icon, and I mean, Blink is like literally, I mean, obviously. So yeah, for sure. And then Colson's album is insane, and just like seeing his evolution and seeing him have so much success now, like I don't know, it just kind of inspires me because even though he started from like a different background than I did, it's still the same like evolution into like kind of a new genre. And he had so much success in it. So yeah, it's just like inspiring, and it kind of just like makes me believe that there is hope and like I can do it too. So yeah.
Yeah, and kind of revisiting your record again, listening through it all, I noticed that mental health and your kind of discussion about paranoia is quite prominent. When you were creating that record, did you realize that that was going to be kind of a focus theme, or was it something you kind of realized afterwards?
I didn't have the idea originally, but then after hearing like a couple songs, I realized that like paranoia was just a constant recurring theme.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like listening to Knife under my pillow, and I say the word paranoia. And when I was trying to come up with the title, I was like, that's perfect. Like, that's literally perfect. That's what the whole thing's about. So it had a different name at first, but then I heard paranoia and I was like, this is perfect.
And with that record, Paranoia, what do you hope that your fans can take away from it?
Just that like someone understands, because I know there's not like a huge representation of like paranoia, and like I don't know, I just haven't heard that many people speaking about it before. And when I started opening up about how I have like super bad paranoia, I don't know, I got so many comments about people being like, oh, I'm so glad someone finally talked about this, and like I relate. And it was just like this crazy moment for me because I've never really heard anyone speak about it. So I don't know, I just want them to feel like they have someone to relate to, and like I want it to be people's comfort EP. Like I have my comfort albums, so I hope people like find comfort in my music, I guess.
Yeah, and following up on that, what would be your top three comfort albums?
Anything by Sleeping with Sirens is my comfort song, like literally anything. Paramore, like probably Riot. Also, Decode is like a comfort song for me. It just
Mm-hmm.
is like so nostalgic. And then like Lana Del Rey, like Born to Die.
It was really interesting kind of listening through the record that you had this kind of pop punk theme running throughout it, and then you had love songs, which was completely different. Was it intentional to kind of have that contrast?
It wasn't intentional. It was just kind of like I originally wasn't even going to put that song on the EP. It was kind of just for my boyfriend. And then I sent it to my manager and he was like, yeah, this is like going on the EP. So I was like, okay, cool, fine. So it wasn't even like supposed to. So I didn't even like think about that when making it. But I kind of like it because it's like this different song, and it is so different from the rest, and like in every aspect, like sonically, but also lyrically. So it's like its own little thing.
Are there any tracks down the line that we can expect, like on a deluxe release or any kind of bonus tracks?
Possibly. We've talked about it, so maybe.
Was when you were writing, like, did you have a bunch, like 50 of them, and then decide that, this many would make the cut?
Yeah, so we actually had so many songs on this EP, and everyone was like, you cannot put out an EP with this many songs. So I kept having to like cut it down because it's crazy. Usually when I go to like a session, it'll be, like a song won't sound that good and then we'll like pass on it. And then like, you'll have to go to the studio a few times to get a good song. But with this EP, it was so crazy. It was like every single session I was going to, we were getting a good song. So I had so many songs at the end. So I do have so many extra songs. So I don't know, maybe a deluxe or maybe I'll just come out with an album soon. I don't know. I'm still working on it.
Can you tell us anything about the songs that you'd want to include?
I mean, they follow the same theme of like that whole EP already.
Mm-hmm.
Same vibe. They're still like pop punky. I don't know. Yeah. That's like all I have.
That's all right. And like, if you had to say what your biggest influences, whether it be artists or themes that were for this record, what would they be?
Yeah, I mean, definitely artists like I was saying, like Paramore, Avril Lavigne, Evanescence, Garbage. I have so many like musical influences. Gwen, so many, but I don't know if I already said Gwen, but I love her. And then also like movies. I draw a lot of inspiration from like movies and like sets and just like characters and like movies.
Well, it's interesting you say that because when you look at the aesthetic, especially like Scissorhands, I felt that had a very Tim Burton kind of feel. And I read that you're a fan of horror movies. Were there any that you kind of watched that you thought that would be really interesting to integrate?
With Knife Under My Pillow, I was thinking of scary movies, like the funny ones.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like some of my favorite scary movies, even though they're like, obviously not really scary. They're just funny. But I don't know, the whole time when I was making that song, I was just thinking of those and like, because the song it's like, it's like the song about paranoia, but it's kind of funny because it's like, I'm sleeping with a knife under my pillow. Like, damn, like get a hold of yourself. But with like the music video too, I wanted it to have this like very 2000s, like funny, like not at all like for real. Like it's me walking through a house with like a flashlight and I'm like looking behind the walls and stuff. It's like a joke, but it's also something like I actually do. So yeah, I definitely just like early 2000s cheesy horror movies.
And someone told us that you potentially have a project coming up in March. What can you tell us about it?
Yes, so I'm going to be doing a live concert of Paranoia, which I'm really excited about. And it'll be at the Roxy, which is like insane because like the Roxy is just iconic and it's so crazy that I'll be able to perform there. I've been to so many shows there, but yes, a live show and it's of the whole EP. And then I'm going to do like a cover too. So I'm really excited.
Can you tell us what the covers might be?
It's a throwback cover. Like it's not what anyone's going to expect at all. But like I feel like when people do hear it, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god!" Like yes, but I'm not gonna say because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But it's gonna be really good.
Outside of like the upcoming event and now the EP's come out, have you been enjoying the time off that you've had, or like because of the pandemic and you're at home a lot, have you been focusing on writing new music?
So like in the beginning of the pandemic, I was definitely like had a lot of time, but ever since like a few months in, I've just been back to being really busy. So I haven't had much time off at all, but things are just different. Obviously, like a lot of my sessions are on Zoom and like not in person and everything's just kind of different, obviously. But I don't know. I think I'm just like used to it at this point. It's been like a year.
Well, when things can kind of go back to normal, we can have touring and everything. What's the thing that you want to do the most?
I want to tour. Really want to tour. I want to just go to live shows again. Like I just miss even going to them. And I want to do something that's like, I mean, obviously not an album or an EP release because like it's already released, but I really want to do something that's like fun like that and like for people, and we can like meet and like, you know, I don't know, just like something that's like special.
And last of all, do you have any plans of putting together a full album?
Yeah, I do. I'm already working on it, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to like tour and stuff off this EP before I put out an album. So hopefully COVID will go away soon, but that's the plan. I will be having an album at some point. Hopefully in the next like year or two. We'll just see how the world goes.
Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with us. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been great to learn more about your music and what you're doing next.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for talking to me.